Try to give like a realistic feel to each and every drawing. Make them all feel like these are like individual drawings. Don't really try to hide that. And again, this was all done in the service of like making the film feel again like timeless and personal to like anyone who watches it. It's mostly that.
One last question, just either in the story themselves or in the process of making the film, was there a takeaway for you, either emotionally that you're going to take into your next projects in the future, technically, and kind of how you put it all together? As you're looking towards your next project, what are you kind of taking with you from this film?
Yeah, so I think my team's film was probably the least serious out of all of them because it's just David talking about a time that he improvs during Arsenic and Arsenic and Olays the play. So I don't know if there's much to learn from that, but I really did like how he emphasized being yourself in his voiceover, because you can just tell from his voice alone that he does not care what you think of him, and he's just a very open person, which I guess makes sense because he's an actor. But I really wanted that to shine in the final product. I think all of us did, because you can laugh at what was happening, sure, it's really funny, but it's also really inspiring to see that he can do this for people, and he can do it without any hesitation. He saved his team back there, even if it wasn't that serious. And at the end, at the end credits, I also put in a video of him saying his life advice, and it was the same thing. It was do what you love, right? Don't let anyone dictate that from you, and also just to socialize more. I think having that lightheartedness to the project makes it easier to see those messages, because it's easier to kind of digest. And I would like to put that in future projects if I were to work on that again, because I think it was fun, and it was also effective.
For what I learned during this whole process is that everything is much, much easier with a team. And I also learned that especially professionally and with working with other people, and whether it be in an animation industry or in a professional work industry, anything, everybody has that one thing that they are good at. Every single teammate has that one specialty that they're good at. Especially in my group, there's always one person who can edit, there's always one person who can do animations, there's always one person who can help with props and do different frames and character design. There's always something for someone, which is what I learned with working with the team. And I'm really grateful for the experience to work with them, and I learned a lot from this as well. And I'm definitely going to take this with me when I'm going into professional fields, that everybody has their thing, and once everybody has their thing and they're doing their thing, there isn't really much to worry about, because a table can only stand with 4 legs. So put all those 4 legs to use, and that's what makes a really good team.
So making this film was definitely a process. There was a lot, and I definitely think that as animators, the process of especially adapting a pre-existing story is so tough. We had a lot of footage to look through initially, and how to tell this story was pretty tough. And I definitely think that what I learned from making my film with my group is that you cannot, during the production process, you can't be too attached to your work. You have to be able to change things around and experiment, because that's the only way that you can really learn and grow as an artist. And I think that learning not to basically see your work as your child, and being able to move on from things and change things, I think that's the most important thing, because our story went through so many revisions, And I definitely think that being able to move on from some things that may not have been as effective was the best in achieving, you know, being able to make this film the best that it could have been.
For us, for our group, and I guess for me in particular, I think what I took away from the final film that we ended up producing was, again, like inspired by Marshall, was like the ability to continue pushing through everything despite what like the world might throw at you, despite like the struggles that you might face. And you know, I think that's also a lesson that I learned from, you know, working in our team, like, you know, behind the scenes, where it's like, yeah, like things might be hard, but it's like as long as you have the determination and like the perseverance to keep pushing through all of that, then that's really all that matters. And I think also to work really well as a team, I think it's good to maybe first try to be friends with your team, I think. And I think that's what I think, you know, for our team in particular, whenever I'm in any sort of team project or group or anything, I think it's important first to try to develop a personal connection to everyone there. That way you can immediately, like, you get to communicate better, you get to work better together, because then people are more open to hearing your ideas. And, you know, also, you know, I've made a lot of friends through these kinds of projects and these kinds of internships, and that's something that I value a lot, like, you know, right alongside the final project that we end up producing each time.
Yeah.
I'll just share one anecdote. Fabián, I remember, you know, it was probably about midway through the process, and you guys were editing your animatic, and this reflected across a couple of groups. I think you guys, as a team, had made a really strong creative choice. You had made that choice to really bookend it with the interview and not include any VO in the middle.
Oh, I think that was our group, actually.
Oh, that was your group?
Yeah, it was the one with, it was... Both did that. Wait, really?
Yeah, we did.
But I remember we gave the note.
Sorry, I didn't want to, like, steal your moment.
But no, it was for both groups. But it was something I saw across a bunch of groups is we would give a note and you'd listen to the note. But when it was a really strong choice that you had made as a group, before we came in to give the note, you doubled down and you stuck with it and you made it work. And I think equally important to iterating, listening to the feedback, those places where you pushed back and you really committed to that choice ultimately made your film really original and special. So that's kind of another takeaway from me that I saw is you guys fought for your vision, which is really special and great. Let's give them a round of applause. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Thank you so
I think we're gonna switch.
switching now.
Yeah.
Some people.
Great work, guys.